Good morning, dear friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here. Are you ready for this week's story time? Yes, it's Margarete Miller Collage Assignment time, where I bring all the prompts together into some sort of story. Typically, the odd occasion I don't, but I do have a story today. So let's clear the decks here. I've got all my bits and pieces almost ready to go. So our prompts today, week 44, an image with sky in it, this pattern paper here, something associated with a period in history. I have this fun illustration of a stagecoach, something that starts with a B. I have a tiny little bee, well, it's not super tiny, but it's small, little bee there. Fibre, yarn or string, I have this bit there, and something torn is this bit of music paper that I found at the bottom of my bin where I keep my scraps. So my scraps are in bags and I put the bags in the bin, and this somehow bit of sheet music was at the bottom, and so I did not deliberately tear this for the prompt. It was seriously like torn. So that is my something torn for the bonus prompt. So let's compose this. I've got a rough idea, as you probably saw before I moved everything to the side, but not totally. I think I want to just remove a bit of this plain edge here. Oh, it's tearing okay. Get rid of that, and we probably don't need all of that. So I don't want to waste it because it's got, you know, cool marks on it, and that's the best part of the tissue paper, in my opinion, is the bit with all the marks on. So don't want to be wasting it, and maybe we could just take a little bit off the top there as well of the plain area. Oh no, is it not gonna comply? Oh, kind of. It's rough, but it's fine. It doesn't matter, does it? It's just another something torn. So that's all good. I think that is going to go right about there. So let's put some glue on that and get that down first. So how are you, my friends? What's your weekend shaping up to look like? I did talk in one of my videos, I can't remember which one this week, that I was going to go see my mum on Friday. Well, I've changed my mind. I'm not going on Friday, or I haven't gone on Friday as you watch this. I'm going to be going next weekend. So next Saturday, hubby and I will both go in to see mum for her birthday. So it will be a little bit later, but still the same week as her birthday. I felt like it was just not within me to be going into the city again. I felt like I needed a bit of a break, and also financially it's not pay week, so like just extra fuel, stuff like that. It was, oh okay, I ended up making that a little bit short. Oh well, never mind. So yeah, so that's just a little update on my plans. It kind of changed a little bit, and that's okay. So a bit of torn music paper. Might just take that down a bit. So I think we need to do this image with the sky, and I'm not going to use glue stick, I'm going to use tacky glue. Ow, ow, ow. I just pinched my finger in the cap as I was putting the cap on. That stung a bit. I hate when things like that happen, and I seem to do it fairly regularly, get my finger caught in, like if you're operating a clip, it gets caught. I don't know how I do it. I get my fingers stuck in the weirdest of painful places when I'm trying to close or open things. Special talent, I tell you, I'm full of special talents. I had a really special talent this morning. I've got to tell you about it. I would not have been able to do what I did deliberately if I was trying to do it. So the alarm this morning, our alarm every morning goes off at 6 a.m. But we were up at 5:02 this morning. As quite common that we're up like 5 minutes before the alarm is due to go off. It's just, you know, the internal sensor on your body just says, yep, it's approaching time to get up. So anyway, we were up at 5:02 and, you know, you're kind of half asleep. You're kind of like, yeah, it's up time, but I'm not quite ready. So I get up, grab my hoodie to just throw on just to keep me warm until we have our showers. And I put one arm in, it's all good. And then I put the other arm in and it's like, this feels really weird. What's going on? It was kind of restrictive. It was not, you know, normally it would come down to my bottom and it was like half up my back. And it was, I was walking to the toilet because, you know, the first thing you do when you get up, or first thing I need to do when I get up is go to the toilet. Probably too much information, but there you go. And I was like, what on earth is going on here? Now, I'm just going to take a moment. Do I want to perhaps use that as a pocket? I think I'll use that as my pocket. I was like, what's going on? And so one arm was in okay. I just need to stop and kind of act it out. One arm was in okay, so like, you know, normal. And then it was twisted around behind my back. And this side was inside out, and I had this arm through the sleeve with it inside out. So it was twisted around my back, and so that's why it wouldn't go all the way down, because it was twisted out. I like, tell you what, so I left it like that until I could show hubby what I had done. It was like, it felt so weird. And when I realized it, it's like, oh my goodness, how could you even manage to do that? Like, how does one do that? It's crazy. So that's the sort of person you're watching here today, is someone with very special talents that one does not try and achieve, like jamming your fingers in places and putting your hoodie on half inside out and half the right way out. It's like, I'm just one crazy lady. I am. Right, so I kind of want to give that, keep a little bit of that texture from it being crumpled, because I think that's kind of fun. So we'll get to the story of the collage. Just bear with me as I catch you up on other bits and pieces. So all that to say, I was saying about mum and that, and then I sidetracked myself. So put this on as a pocket. I don't know what we're doing this weekend. Our local AMP show, so AMP stands for Agricultural and Pastoral. So there's equestrian and wood chopping, all sorts of things, lots and lots of things. And we haven't been for many, many years because I was not capable of walking around the show for a day. And I was like, oh, I've got my camera up and running again with the new battery charger, and you know, this is the year. This is the year that we can go back to the show. Well, it looks like we can't, unfortunately. I haven't ruled it out entirely, whereas I think my hubby has, because he's like, well, it costs money to get in. It's quite expensive now. And then if you don't have spending money, it's not much fun. But I have a little bit of money at the moment. Not a huge amount, but I think, yep, so that will tuck in there. I'm just going to take it back out. So I'm thinking maybe I'll shout us both. I don't know. Not sure. We'll see what the weather's like, how we're feeling. Right, so I'm going to use this bit of string. It is actually part of a tassel, and it's very silky. It's off one of my mum's cushions years ago. She had cushions with tassels on each corner, and because it's so silky, over not that long actually. It wasn't very long that it happened. They all came apart and fell apart, and she gave me all the bits of the tassels. So every now and then I pull a bit out and use it. So I'm just going to use a bit of tacky glue and kind of position it, kind of, hopefully. Kind of in the way that I want it, because it's got a definite kind of curve to it that's not exactly what I'm after. But I do want some of the curves. So I'm not gluing all the way along the length. I'm just, oops, maybe I should. Right, and now I need this to kind of go this way. So I've got to work it against its natural inclination to go in a certain direction. Okay, so I'll just leave the end there. So we need our bee on. Let's glue on our little bee. I wanted a bigger bee, but I couldn't find one easily. And I think, well, this is big enough actually scale given the turtle. Weird image of a turtle too, because of the distortion of the water. It looks like it hasn't got a shell, but it's just the way the water is distorting the image. And this is an image from the Seychelles, just in case you're wondering. It's very pretty. So I want to have that under the string. Right, now I can glue this end of the string down. My fingernails are going a bit blue. It is slightly chilly here this morning. It's going to be a beautiful day though, so just putting up with it, because I know probably this afternoon running around the food bank I'm probably going to be quite toasty. Okay, I think we've got everything. So an image with sky in it, pattern paper, something associated with period in history, something starts with a B, fibre, yarn or string, and something torn. Okay, we've got everything. So let's look at our little story for today. So we have our little bee here. His name is Sunny. Sunny the bee was flying along, collecting pollen for making honey, minding his own business, flying through the streets, heading to the next flower, when the stagecoach came along, and the driver was using his whip to whip the horses up because he wanted to go faster. And poor little Sunny, he got caught up in the whip, and the whip flicked him off into a different area. And it flicked him into a bit of pattern paper that was just floating around the streets, and he got tangled up in the pattern paper and caught up, and he couldn't escape, and it was blowing him way away from where he wanted to be, where he was headed. And it blew him all the way out to the sea. And here he is over the sea. Finally the tissue blew off him, and he was really disoriented because he had tumbled around up and down and a bit dizzy and no idea where he was. And there is this island here, the Seychelles, this island, but there's no flowers, there's no hives. He's got loaded with pollen ready to take back to his hive and his family, his fellow bees. And he's like, this island is not my home. This island doesn't have what I need. It doesn't have my family. It doesn't have my home. I really want to go home. But he's stuck out in the middle of the ocean, and he's like, how am I going to get home? And he was busy singing a lament with the music, and the music's a bit torn up too, because he's still not entirely kind of like coherent because of all the tumbling and tossing in the wind that's happened. So he's singing a lament about how can he get home. It's very, very sad. Poor Sunny. Poor Sunny. He's had it a bit rough. When along comes swimming by the island our friend the turtle. Might be a tortoise, I'm not sure, but we're calling it a turtle. Tommy the turtle comes by and hears this beautiful song. Sad song, but beautiful. And he's like, where's that song coming from? So he lumbers up to the island. You know, they're not so graceful on the sand, but he comes up and he sees this little bee singing his song, saying, I want to go home, but I don't know how to get there. So Tommy says, I've got an idea. How about I tow you and I can take you back to your home. So not obviously right to the home, but back to the mainland. So they find this bit of string because there's lots of rubbish. Unfortunately, we live in a day and age where there's lots of rubbish in the oceans, and this piece of string was just a bit floating around in the ocean. Came in handy this day. So he puts it in his mouth, and the bee attaches the other end to himself, and Tommy Turtle gives him a tow home. So it ends happily. Our bee friend Sunny gets to go home and deliver his pollen for the making of more honey. And the turtle just got to hear the bee sing a happy song all the way home. So there we go, guys. That's my cute little story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it amused you and that you enjoyed my collage. Thanks for joining me. Have a super weekend, and I'll be back on Monday with Deal It Up Challenge number 101. Wow. Still can't quite believe it, but there you go. Take care, my friends, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.